So I'm picking up this energy where many of you have been in a situation where somebody that you're in a relationship with, they like they don't follow through. And it's not like sometimes, because things do happen, you know. Things happen, but it's a all the time thing. And I feel like you are completely done with that same energy on repeat. It's like someone who you'll talk to them about something that it could mean a lot to you, or it could be like something that you feel that they should remember, but they don't. They don't remember. And I'm picking up this energy. I heard they don't care as much as you. They don't care as much as you. It's feeling like birthdays, like you feel like it's supposed to be sentimental. You feel like it should be like anniversaries. That's what I'm getting, like this type of energy that you're feeling. And it's like you're always the one who has an excitement about it, but the other one doesn't. And you know, that's kind of tough because people have different personalities. So if you're the one who's all excited and then the other one is not, it could make you feel bad. Like, I can understand how that can make you feel bad, especially if that means something to you. See, in a relationship, sometimes there's compromise, and I think people don't really take compromise into consideration, because when you're with someone and there's something that means something to them and it doesn't mean anything to you, then it could be one of those things where maybe that's not the right one for you, because that would always be like a conflict in the relationship. Or if it's something that's not too, you know, left field, then maybe that person could find it within themselves to get into that thing with you just because you like to do it, and it's kind of like just for you. Like, you know, I find that as a good tactic to bond with someone, and I feel like this can align with any relationship. Because say for instance, you don't like tennis, but someone wants you to go with them to a tennis tournament. And you know, you don't really care about tennis, but you'll go because you're spending time with that person. Some people don't have that in them. Some people have the perspective of, you know, I'm not into that, so I'm not going, but they don't take into account the whole of the situation, and the fact that going along with someone to do something that they're interested in because clearly they want your company, for them to just do it off the strength of that, that's like a bonding moment. That's a moment to bond. That's a moment to even inquire with them about what's going on in the game if you're not in it, just to be involved in the moment. Like, you know, so even if a person, I get it if they don't really like it, but if you look at it from a different perspective, like, I'm just bonding with this person because I love them. You know, I might not think it's the greatest thing ever, but I'm into it at this moment because they want my presence, right? They appreciate my presence enough to want me to go with them and experience the experience, right? And I feel like that's something that a lot of you wanted from this person, that ability to be so understanding. So many people don't have that. So many people are just like really not into, it's almost like, I don't know, almost like people don't think about bonding anymore. Like the actual, I feel like that brings along true connection, bonding with somebody in whatever way that is. But, you know, because a bond makes a relationship strong. And if you just look around, most of the time relationships are very weak. Many relationships are very weak. And a big part, or a big reason relationships could be weak, is because there's not enough bonding time. And it makes me also think about like parents. I know many of you probably didn't have much bonding time with your parents, at least some of you, or with someone that, you know, you really cared about, or you really care about now. Maybe you're still going through that. Yeah, so many of you could have missed out on bonding time with your parents, and it caused a strain on that relationship, the relationship with parents or guardians, or an elder, or an older person in your life. And that took a toll on you, because it's like the listening, there was no one to listen. I feel like there was many times in your earlier years where you just needed someone to listen, and some of you can feel like that now, where you just need somebody to listen. You might always be the one that listens to others, but many of you would appreciate if someone can actually listen to you. You know, the strong ones always get the worst experiences, because the individuals who are like the strongest, just based off of how they live and the choices that they make and the fruit that they bear, they're the ones who have the least support in a way. And I know that kind of sounds crazy, but I feel like that's true. It's like the ones who are the strongest ended up having the least support at some point in life, or they could have just been like so independent that they just made the choice not to be under anyone's thumb, you know, or under anyone's roof, umbrella, whatever you want to call it. So it really just depends. It doesn't have to start out that way from a traumatic experience. However, I do feel like in a lot of instances it does, because people that are strong, they're always the one that is there for everybody else. You know, they're always the one that everybody calls when they need something. They always call that one person because they know that that person will come through for them. They know that there's a high probability that that person is going to come through for them. And that person just so happened to be you. And, but it's just like, you know, people who are strong also at times can feel weak, because when life hits, sometimes things go down and it make you feel a little funny, a little off balance. Then you gotta brace yourself. And I feel like people who have strength, they do get back up, because they know what their purpose is. Usually they have like goals that they're going towards, so they have much reason behind how they move, so they pick themselves back up. But it would be nice if there was someone who can just understand, you know, because most of the people that the strong person helps, whether it's family or friends, they don't have as many responsibilities as the one that they keep calling on. But yet it's difficult for them to return that favor, no matter what it is. Energy, financially, mentally. It could be any type of assistance. It's just the point of the matter, which is many strong people don't have many people that listen to them in such a way of like emotional support. People that are strong-minded often do that on their own, but that doesn't mean that those individuals wouldn't appreciate that, though. That doesn't mean that individuals who are strong-minded and strong-willed wouldn't appreciate someone to be there for them as they are for others, especially when it comes to like emotional support. Because being strong-minded, it does have many emotional roller coasters at times, because sometimes you become overwhelmed when you don't pace yourself, and then you have to learn how to do that. There's so many points in time where there's voids that need to be filled, and learning opportunities. Okay, so that's what I'm getting with that as well. But this just goes to show how important communication is amongst family, friends, when there's good communication, it's like smooth. Like everything is smooth, especially when individuals are willing to like compromise at times. And sometimes there are situations that are uncompromisable just because there's certain things that we just don't tolerate, and that's acceptable. And then you move accordingly when those things arise. But communication should be like a given, and it should be able to just happen. But it's not always like that, unfortunately. And I just feel like you were just tired of not being heard. You would think that that's not something that you should have to really ask for. Doesn't it feel like it should just is like automatic type of thing, because that's a part of communication, listening and communicating through speech and body language as well. But no, it's not. Because sometimes you can be in a relationship and the person that you're with is not receptive to what you're saying. That happens sometimes. And sometimes it could be a little egoic. It could be because they might be the type of person that says no, or that rejects what you tell them first. And then they have to process it on their own time to recognize what it is that you were, like the message that you delivered to them. Sometimes that happens too. So it really all depends. But what I really think got to you as well is when someone says that they're going to do something and you discuss it and maybe you even give them instructions and they just completely don't follow it at all. But they agree to it, but they don't follow it. And then it's like you're doing your part in the relationship, but then they're not doing their part in the relationship. And then the relationship becomes weak because you're doing too much, and then it eventually will fall. And I feel like many of you experience this because so many of you have that kindness in you. And many people in this realm take kindness for weakness, and they don't understand that they are being blessed by an angel. Many people don't even grasp that concept, because we are living amongst demons, and they should be able to tell the difference, right? Even if it does take time to get to know someone, off rip, you will see an energy on someone, and you can tell if they might seem a little skeevy, like they do something in the darkness that they shouldn't. And sometimes you pick up the energy where someone is just open, like a very open communicator, and they could just be a social butterfly. And then there's some people who are more reserved, and they speak to people, but maybe they're not just like open to just walk up to anyone. Everyone has a different way of communicating. But communication overall is just important. It's important. And it's the worst when you're in a relationship and you can't even communicate. That's when you know that it's done for. Like I feel like many individuals stay in these types of relationships hoping for a change, and it never happens. And then it's like you get stuck. This is one of those situations where you can get stuck in a bad situation for years and years and years. And then before you know it, so much time has passed. There's so much that you didn't do that you actually had a desire to do. And then you fault yourself, and you start to feel bad about it, and then you just kind of get stuck. But even if that did happen to you, you don't have to feel stuck. You're still alive and breathing. So things that you are interested in that you didn't do, you can still go do them if you want to. That's still open. I think sometimes people think, oh, I'm too old, or I haven't done that in a while, I probably can't do it anymore. And then you just kind of like cancel it out before you even actually get to a place. But Spirit doesn't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that, because you'll sell yourself short and you won't be able to experience what is meant for you to experience. Yeah, so if you're a communicator and you're someone who knows how to accommodate a partnership, a relationship, know your value to the point of being able to recognize when someone is lacking. And when they can't, you, through conversation and getting to know a person, you could tell if they could meet you halfway. You could tell, you know, you could also tell by their actions and their responses to things that you say. I'm here, but you got to watch for the ones that talk a good game, but then there's no action, because there's people like that too. You know, they want to put on a facade. They'll say they have this, that, and the third, but they don't really have anything. They just said everything that they felt that you wanted to hear to get you where they wanted you to be. So we can't just go with just words. We also need action too. We also need action. That's just a words do hold power, but the action is the gas. Like, you know, that's what makes it go. Okay? So I hope this message has helped you in some way in your situation, or at least in your perspective, to shift your perspective to look at situations like that a little differently, so that you don't get caught up sticking around in a relationship that ended before it started. Because then that's just a waste of time, and your time is valuable in many ways. Okay? If you would like to book a coaching call with me, or if you would like to purchase my book, you can. You go to milkhoneyrose.org, www.milkhoneyrose.org, and you can book the coaching call there, as well as purchase my book there. And if you would like to donate to me, you can. You can go to my Cash App, which is $M as in milk, N as in November, Honey Rose. MNHONEYROSE is my Cash App. Okay, my love. So if you want to show me some love, because I'll be giving y'all love every day, you are appreciated. All right. Is there anything else we want to say, Spirit? Don't let people get you down that act as if what you're saying is not important to them. They're just not capable of being who. They're not capable of being someone who has the type of consistency that you need. They don't have the consistency. And it's not just, it's almost like being able to keep up with you, yes, but there's more to that. They're not someone who has the ability to look at situations from a deeper perspective. They can only reach the surface layer. And once you recognize that there's so many people on this earth like that, instead of you getting so angry, it's kind of like you just let them pass on. Like, you let them go ahead. Because it's like, you're not for me. You're in my way. When you start looking at it like that, when you know a person's not for you, it lightens your heart. You don't have to give so much energy to it, and you don't have to be walking around mad and angry. Because that type of energy can make you really mad. So when you learn how to weed out what is just trying to siphon your energy, as opposed to give you life, then you know it's not for you, and there's no reason to be mad. Be happy that you've seen the lack in that person, so that they can go their merry way without you. Okay, my loves? Everything you do, do it with love. Always remember the creator is in you and the magic is too, because you're magic. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next video. I've written a book, and this book is an eagle's perspective of my journey. However, in a very profound way, my journey is also your journey, because we go through the same steps to try to understand why we're here, what is our purpose, and where are we going, and what should we actually be connected to, what's real and what's not, what's true and what's false, right? So this book that I've written gives you a roadmap to get to the place where you have been created to be.